Welcome to the second sign. Our midweek episode happens to fall on a very special day for the people of Great Britain, as we get to exercise our participation into a democratic process where we choose our next head of state. Isn't it? Isn't that what's supposed to be an election's all about, where you vote in who you want to lead you as a people? Of course, voting in one's leader is at the forefront of any free world thinking ideas. But that isn't what happens here in the United Kingdom, as the Prime Minister, whomever that may end up being after today, isn't top of the pile. You have to go through a whole House of Lords before you get anywhere near that level of authority. So what does that make us? A republic? Absolutely not. That is a state that renounces one's sovereignty. So we're certainly not that. But we are going to have a look at exactly what we are in terms of what the definition of the United Kingdom is. Of course, if you're in other parts of the world and it isn't election day for you, you can still take part. Anyone tuning in on either YouTube or Rumble, we do have a live chat that it would be... I'm going to make sure it's working, so I can bring it up on screen in case anyone wants to say hello. It's always good to know you're there. Are you voting? Have you voted? Of course, you wouldn't normally... elections are kind of private, aren't they? And I remember my mother, maybe because she was ashamed because she was a Tory voter, I'm not sure, but I know she always told us never to tell the neighbours who she voted for, because it's meant to be private, she said. And then I saw other neighbours sticking signs up in their windows: vote Lib Dems, vote Labour. The occasional Lib Dem, Lib Dem was massive. It was Labour when I was growing up in the city of Bath. The earliest election I remember, I certainly didn't vote in it, or wasn't even old enough to vote, would be that of the 1991 election, where John Major got in. I do also have very early memories of the previous one to that, which probably would have been 87 or 88, in which, Margaret Thatcher, both victories were against Neil Kinnock. Of course, the thing with elections is there's always that suspicion of could they be rigged? Is it possible that the election process isn't quite as it appears? Although I do wonder if the United Kingdom in particular is at a position where they're so malleable now, they don't have to rig votes or slip a whole load of extra tickets in to make sure that the leaders that they want in power get in. I actually think people will pretty much vote for whoever they're told these days. Anyone remember, actually talking about the 1991 general election, who remembers it was an article it was the headline front page of the Sun newspaper. Apologies for the background noise if you're picking that up on the microphone. Let's find it. If you do not remember it, let me just check things are playing back alright at the moment. Hopefully I've not been talking on mute all this time. That is at least what I'm hoping. So, the headline. Let me just find it. Audio seems to be playing back well. Not sure if anyone's with us this evening. Hopefully you are. I will sort out the live chats and get them up on screen at some point. Right, let me find our headline that we're referring to. I mean, there's been loads of famous front pages of the Sun newspaper. It was claimed that, the Sun newspaper took responsibility for they took responsibility for Conservatives winning that election, because by all accounts it was just about to go to it was going to be won by Labour, and then the Sun newspaper printed this front page. Where is it? Yeah, well, this was the following day. It's the Sun what won it, I remember that, but the particular article that, I'm sure we can find a better one than that. Right, yeah. I know. Yeah, this was it. I do remember this headline. If Kinnock wins today, Neil Kinnock being the Irish leader of the Labour Party. No, sorry, Welsh. I do beg your pardon, Neil. Welsh, not Irish. If Kinnock wins today, will the last person to leave Britain please turn out the lights? And the Sun claimed that that headline persuaded so many people not to vote Labour that the Tories got in. So is that an example of just how willing, people are to be told what to do, as it were? What would be the point, though? What would be the point in holding a general election every 5 years just to waste a load of time? I don't know if you know this, but a huge amount of money is raised by political parties to do exactly what they've been doing lately, campaigning on that subject. Tonight's thumbnail, let me just bring it up, this is just a few of the leaflets that have been put through our door in 2 days. And I took this picture yesterday. We had a whole bunch. Well, we had a few more come through today as well. We've just been inundated with it. Don't forget to vote on July the 4th. Make sure your vote counts. It's a two-horse race between Conservatives and Liberal Democrats here in the United Kingdom. Here in my area, as it was when I grew up in Bath. It was all about... I think we're led to believe that it's the Labour voters that end up deciding it, because whichever way Labour vote, end up becoming members of Parliament. Again, if you're in other parts of the world, I believe the United States also have an election coming up. Not that I'm keeping up with it, unfortunately. I'm very ignorant of anything going on in American politics. I don't waste too much time looking at the funny looking people that we see on television telling us about one set of nonsense after another generally. So who's in power personally is up for debate. If you think it matters whether it's a Conservative or a Labour leader, then fair play. Elections, they spend fortunes on probably companies they've actually got a vested interest in. On Sunday nights at the moment, we're doing a watch-along of the person who's nicknamed the father of vaccines, and what comes up in that is just how unfortunately financially motivated these companies are. They're taking fortune. And it's no different in politics. If you get into a position where your signature means something, then the expenses is just the beginning of it. Okay, I did say at the start we were going to look up the definition. What is United Kingdom? Is it a democracy? Is it a sovereign state? Or is it something that tries to be both, with the outcome that probably all the people we see the majority of the time on a lot of these articles, I wouldn't rule out the possibility they're doubles or lookalikes, or some might believe in cloning, but not me. They've dressed they dress people up to look very similar to these characters. You would be surprised how good a theatrical makeup department are at making two people look very similar. But that's one for another video. We'll stick to a little while ago. I gave some rules. I said in order to have a half decent live stream, you want to be one of three things. You either need to be educational. Oh my goodness, something's just flashed up on my screen. Windows has taken over my desktop apparently. A new journey, right, that was a bit invasive, apologies. Let's see. Right, yeah, that completely threw me off there. I just had a big splash screen brought up. And, yeah, ruined my train of thought. Asking me to install or download Windows. Right, yeah, if anyone does know, before I look it up, what the United Kingdom is classed at, first of all, yeah, sorry, I was going to give you my 3 rules to being a half-decent YouTuber, no wonder I forgot it. Be entertaining. If you can't be entertaining, be funny. If you can't be funny, be informative, educational. And if you can't be any of those 3, then for goodness sake, get a co-host on, for someone to help pick up the slack, as it were. But we're going to try and be educational tonight. We're going to look at the meaning, the different definitions of democracy. That is what I asked. We'll start with a republic. We'll go over a few questions you may have on this. Are always welcome, always appreciated. Right, that's the wrong button. Right, yeah. Let's see how Bing, the best search engine in the world, defines a republic. It is a state in which supreme power, that's right at the very top, is held by the people and their elected representatives, which has an elected or nominated president rather than a monarch. So the United Kingdom, we have a monarch, who, by the way, has just started appearing on £5 notes. Don't know if you noticed that. So United Kingdom definitely isn't a monarchy. Sorry, a republic. Define a monarchy. A form of government in which a person, the monarch, is head of state for life or until abdication. The political legitimacy and authority of the monarch may vary from restricted and largely symbolic, in which case they might as well be waxwork dummies if they're just yeah, they if they're just there for, you know, a symbol, then yeah, you might as well make them out of wax. Make a load of prosthetics that you could put on anyone's face, put them on in front of cameras and tell everyone that's your king. So, final thing we'll look up, of course, is what is a democracy. Yeah, I was just thinking, is that a cop-out then to say you can have a monarchy where they own all the power, but they're just symbolic? Well, what's the point in having them? Right, Wikipedia, everybody's first stop shop for answers. Never look past Wikipedia, you don't need to. Right, we'll look it up in a... We'll do that. We'll look it up in a dictionary. Let's say Oxford Dictionary. You'll probably have to pay a subscription for this one. We'll see. Okay, we'll look up democracy. Right, a government by the people, a system of government in which all the people of a state or polity. Well, that was cut short. Hang on. Where's it gone? Where's our definition gone? Right, it is basically the idea of a democracy, of course. I'm sure we all know what it actually means, but is the United Kingdom one? Why are they not giving me meaning and use? Yeah, you have to subscribe. Thought so. You might as well just search Bing. Definition which is what we were doing just 1 minute ago. Right, a system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of state, typically through elected representatives, meaning any of us could get there. Any of us could get the top job and end up living in number 10 Downing Street. By the way, that's a fake street, Downing Street. It's just 2 houses. Perhaps the Prime Minister lives there. I don't know. It's heavily guarded. If that is the case. Right, so a multi-party democracy. Is that what we've got here in the United Kingdom? We've got Labour, Conservative, Lib Dems, Monster Raven Looney. Right, the intended extension of industrial democracy. Okay, yeah. Our democracy's at the centre of a free, country. Unfortunately, yeah, United Kingdom. The clue's in the name, Kingdom. I do believe we're a monarchy, and right, let's see. Let's ask Bing this final question. Is the United... There is, of course, 2 different types of democracy, as I'm sure it will tell us in a second. I think it's... The United Kingdom is a parliamentary democracy. You sure about that one? Based on universal adult suffrage. It is also a constitutional monarchy. Constitutional. So it's 2 things at once. It makes you wonder why countries such as... I think China gets a hard time for being considered a... what's the name? It's where they a regime like not allowing anyone to challenge. I also believe another country that was criticised was Zimbabwe with Robert Mugabe. These dictatorships, that's the word I'm after. I think they've claimed Iraq and Iran are dictatorships. Or at least until the military went in. However, at least my view is at least they're honest about it. They don't pretend, they don't hold the pretense of having an election every 5 years, only for the actual head of state to not, be affected by any of it. How politics works in the UK when it comes to who passes a law, which you would think whoever sets laws is obviously going to hold a lot of power. It is quite a process here in the United Kingdom. First of all, it has to be suggested or something, and then once it's, put into an act of... They try and make it an act of Parliament. Once Parliament agree with their eyes to the yes, eyes to the right, nose to the left, whatever. Once they go through that voting process, it is then sent to... I'm not necessarily saying it's a good or bad thing, a House of Lords. If you have any opinion on such thing, I've heard it suggested that they should get rid of it. In which case, you might as well get rid of the monarch while you're at it, I guess. Because, yeah, you can't have it both ways, Yeah, once the British Parliament pass an act, it's then sent to the House of Lords, where it is voted on by another group of unelected people. Again, the clue's in the name, Lord. It's sort of lets us know, really. So let's see. Britain is both a monarchy, it would appear. Sorry, a constitutional monarchy. We will look that definition of that up. Define constitutional monarchy. We'll bring up the display so you can watch along at the same time if you so wish. Constitutional monarchy, also known as limited monarchy, parliament monarchy, or democratic monarchy. What a joke, democratic monarchy. How do you work that out? In which case, the king must be able to be voted in if it's a democratic monarchy. Is a form of monarchy in which the monarch, king or queen, exercises their authority in accordance with constitution and is not alone in making decisions. Okay, it's one where the king, in our situation, Charles, is given help in passing laws. Oh, we're not going to Wikipedia. Right, okay. Other places that do it in the same way, Liechtenstein. They've got an interesting royal family, by the way, Liechtenstein. Their son, yeah, you know, here in Britain, well-known members of the royal family would be Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, while Liechtenstein has already kind of did that story. They had the first non-white member of the family like a couple of years before it happened here in the United Kingdom, with the same sort of descendant of the king as it was the queen. I believe her eldest child's youngest son married I think she African American, is that the correct term? I want to find it. Right, just see the similarities with Harry and Meghan. What? Right, just trying to do a quick copy and paste. See if we can bring them up. Prince of Liechtenstein. That's not the one I'm thinking of. Here they are. This is the couple I'm on about. This is Harry and Meghan Mark II, I guess you could say. No, sorry, Mark I. Harry and Meghan are, what's the name of this couple? Maximilian and, what's her name then? Let's go to the accompanying article to see what it tells us. Do you think Liechtenstein has elections every 5 years to choose a new leader who actually never ends up getting anywhere near being the leader? The wedding of Maximilian of Liechtenstein, Princess Angela of Princess Angela. So, yeah, that one with their first child, that indeed was a story told. I mean, they even look like Harry and Meghan in these pictures. You'll have to check them out yourself. Maximilian and Angela, Prince and Princess of Liechtenstein. Not a word I can say particularly easy. But that is only apparently Europe's fourth smallest country, so who cares about a tiny little nation like that? Although Britain's not a particularly large one either, of course. Netherlands, I didn't know they had a royal family, I've got to be honest with you. Right. Lesotho. Right, let's see. Jordan, very wealthy nation. another another monarchy, as it were. I wonder if they have elections every 5 years. Perhaps all these countries do. Perhaps it's a common formula for ruling people, giving them the idea that they've got some form of control in what goes on the big screen, on the big stage, as it were, where everything is acted out. Probably to more than one take, I would guess. Oh, it looks like we've got Mudlark digging up the Thames in the chat. Thanks, Mudlark. You saved me once again from calling this stream the first sign of madness. It is, in fact, the second sign. So, thank you for being with us. By the way, Mudlark, did you see my dedication to you the other night? I put it in a community post. I don't know if anyone sees my community posts, but yeah, I did whilst we're on the subject of monarchs, I did put up a short video about Charles appearing on the £5 note. Oh, what am I doing? I'm getting nowhere fast here. And I dedicated it to you, Mudlark, in case you hadn't spotted that. Hope you had. Okay. Right, finally getting onto my channel. I always end up mentioning it on one thing or another. Yes, it was this one to you. One thing I did say in this wrong button. One thing I did say in this video was how much he actually looks like Prince Andrew on this note. I don't know if anyone can see him. Yeah, that image is a bit skewered. Sorry, a bit off. Skewered, I guess you would say. Yeah, I kind of see Charles staring back at me, but not the best likeness. Although, as I said, could it be there are actually plenty of there are genuine members of the royal family. I've put videos out to the contrary, quite a few of them, suggesting that I think it's all a pile of garbage. Those that we see on TV, at the very least, are not the genuine members. Lovely to see Jeff Gashead, by the way. Mudlark didn't see it. Okay, fair enough. I'll put a link to it now I even put your name right at the end. It's only on the screen for a couple of seconds. Blink and you'll miss it. But it does say they're dedicated to Mudlark digging up the Thames. Yeah, where was my community post? Right, the last bit of self-indulgence. Community. I don't think anyone sees my community posts. Even people that are subscribed to me, I just don't think they see my content anymore. Whatever, I'm not bothered. Here we are. My latest short is dedicated to Mudlark digging up the Thames, due to the fact that it was your video which I stole in order to make one about him appearing on the 50p coin. I did say I'll challenge not just you, but anyone listening to this stream. Let's see who can get the first short of a £10 note up. Yeah, he looks slightly different. Where was I going? I'm going from one subject to another. Mudlark says they made Elizabeth II look less attractive than she was. Possibly. I would say it's certainly the other way round with... actually, you're right about Elizabeth. She kind of looked almost ape-like in some of the images that we saw of her. Particularly on the older ones, I remember. The later ones with her face on. And yeah, Jeff says you're not crazy. I guess that's... Oh yeah, we cannot watch this without complimenting those beautiful nails, by the way. Nice one. So yeah, let's hope we can see a video soon of if you get a tenner with him on. And yeah, same goes for anyone else that watches this stream. If you manage to get that short up first, I will certainly give it some acknowledgement. And if it's anything like Mudlark's video, I'll just nab it. I'll just steal it myself and upload it. So, well, I wouldn't do that. Although that should get credit back to the person who originally uploaded it, of course. I wonder if anyone... Yeah. Yeah, they've certainly bought out all the... Yeah, it's only on particular coins at the minute. You only see Charles on a 50p at the moment, unless I'm mistaken, of course. There's a whole load of... There's a whole heap of different bits of currency that we could race to be the first person to upload to. We'll have to see how that goes. Yeah, we are gonna start wrapping things up shortly, as we've had a bit of some comments in the live chat. Might as well bring that up. I'll just make it a little bit more readable. 1 second. Hopefully. There we go. That should make it readable. Mudlark, no, I've got to agree with you. Likewise, didn't bother. The last time I did waste my time and go into an election booth was the one prior to... The one where Russell Brand was telling everyone to vote Labour. That was the last one I took part in, and I voted Green. I remember getting a bit taken in by him. I certainly watched... I don't think I subscribed to his channel, but I remember... Because his videos, Russell Brand's videos back then, were being put at the front of YouTube. You couldn't probably click on YouTube without seeing one of his videos, despite supposedly being alternative media. Yeah, right. They, yeah, he told everyone what a waste of time it was voting. You know, not far off the mark, I'm sure. And then ended up interviewing politicians. It was just sleazy AF, if you know what I mean. A very well-made party political broadcast, I guess you could say. And should tell us, anyone with a... who doesn't know what to make of Russell Brand, that series of videos should have told you everything you need to know. Stay TFA way would be my my view on it. Right, we yeah, Russell Brand's 33 tattoo, Mudlark. I have used it as the front cover on one of my live streams once. Come on then, let's bring my display back up. I'll let you see that. I know what I could at the very least have up is text. Right, oh, what am I doing? Okay, I will find the video where I used that 33 tattoo. It was a live stream I probably did quite recently. I think I called it Mr. 33 Accused, back when he was accused of... There it is. I don't know how well you can see that. If anyone wants to watch it, I'll probably put a link on in the description. Yeah, he's got a very blatant 33 tattooed on his wrist. Likewise, if the party political broadcast he took part in didn't tell you that what you need to know about him, the 33 on his wrist certainly should. Dual numbers, they love their dual numbers, of course. Right, I'm going to start wrapping up in a minute. I will be back Sunday, of course, with part 5 of Stanley Plotkin's deposition. If you've not been following that, you do find out some actually... I mean, you have to put up with me blabbering on over the top of it, but you do find out some curious information about the use of you know, how pharmaceutical industry works, particularly in the United States of America, where it seems not very nice, as it were. Right, the live chat's gone all over the shop. Let me see if I can sort that out. No, not really. Has to be where it is. Of course, before we go, I do like to put my camera on and say hello to anyone that's taken the time to tune in, whether you're here over on YouTube or Rumble. Thanks for being here with us this evening. If you want to show your appreciation, there's a very simple way of doing it. Let me just clear the screen a minute. Yeah, there is a thumb up button somewhere below your video, or a heart button. There's also the ability to share it, and subscribing is massively appreciated. If anyone wants to do that and pay me a huge compliment. Yeah, there are indeed other ways of paying me a compliment as well. The names on the screen now have made it onto my wall of, whatever you want to call it, wall of fame, let's say. If you want to figure out how to get your name on there. I mean, to be honest, anyone that ever hits the thumb up button for me, as far as I'm concerned, deserves a place on this wall. So, yeah. There are a couple of... I used to put the links in the description. I probably tell you every week I don't put links in the description on YouTube anymore. However, they are over on Rumble if you're watching over there. Right, any predictions before we go? Whoops, what have I done there? Any predictions before we go about the outcome of the election? Are we going to see... To be honest, I don't even care. I mean, we could do a live watch-along, like what seats have been taken by whom, because I do believe the votes start coming in, or is it after midnight before they get the first? I know there's always a race to find out who is going to be the next Prime Minister. If I had the stamina, I would do a... I couldn't do a live watch-along to the election results coming in. Ugh. Let's see, just a quick one. Election results. Oh, they're giving us United States. Are they having theirs on the same night? That can't be right. Oh, this is about primaries. Apparently, Bing think election 2024 refers to nothing to do with the United Kingdom. They think it's all about Trump. So he's obviously... Oh, see how ignorant I am of politics, particularly American. I don't involve myself with it. I don't want to know. I'm just surprised they haven't got something up giving us the UK results. Hey ho. Live from it. I guess they haven't started bringing them in yet. Yeah, they've all got these things. I don't care enough to make a guess, to be honest with you. Alright, Tories will stay in, that's my guess. Or it'll be like a not hung parliament, a coalition or something, I guess. Who knows? Yeah. As I say, back in the 90s, I remember I was too young to vote, but I thought that they really did make a difference to... And obviously, financial differences to business and companies, that's one thing. But your everyday life, putting your faith in a Prime Minister, you might as well put your faith in the King. As we head towards the end of the week, my day always starts going to Sabbath day. And it just reminds me, yeah, Kings, as the book of, is it Judges tells us, isn't God's way. God had no... God's plan isn't for men to be led by kings. However, they came about. But no, it was judges, of course, that our God decided should rule us. So yeah, putting your faith in politicians, terrible idea. Don't do it. I mean, what next? You'll be turning on the news every evening to... waiting to find out the latest way you can stay safe from some killer virus. My goodness, who trusts these clowns? Not me. And that is why I can't do a watch along all night. looking to see who wins what and where. Don't care. Makes no odds to me either way. They're all a bunch of they are all a bunch of, not all of them actually. I'm not saying all MPs, members of Parliament, are actors. Although you should have seen the person who stood as my candidate in the last general election. I'm not being rude, but when you can't even be honest enough to tell people your actual name, this person isn't being honest about themselves. Come on. They know it, we know it, effing Marcellus knew it. That's a reference to Pulp Fiction, as it were. And something about Tony Rocky Horror. Rocky Horror would kind of be apt on this point. Yes, I was about to say, obviously not all people that make it to Parliament are, you know, just... can't even finish that sentence. Sorry, not looking... No disrespect, alright, but, you know, there is a time and a place. Elita1, great to have you in the live chat. Thank you for tuning in this evening. Belcher's a man. Is that someone you've heard of out of interest? Yeah, I'm confident that's a play on name, by the way. Belcher, you know. Not play on name, but they're being humorous, as it was. Mudlight says the outcome might be fixed. Right, as much as I totally agree with you, how would they do it? Would it be fixed by, no matter how many votes get cast, they already know who's going to be in? Or have they got people so brainwashed that they will vote for whatever their favourite tabloid tells them? So let's say they know the Sun has 1 million readers, for example, and the Mirror has 500,000. They know, well, that's all right. We've got 1 million people that we will tell to vote for whoever, and they will follow our orders. Therefore, we know, you know, whatever political slant has more coverage by the media. Yeah, I do recall, actually, just when all this started up, where the election started getting talked about couple of months ago, they started doing reports in town centres, taking the worst possible area of, you know, they would find closed down shops, which, yeah, of course, the shops closed down everywhere at the moment, but with graffiti all over it, they deliberately broadcasted it in a way to make the place look like it was a mess, where it was just a bit blatant, the angle. You know, they wanted us to know that they, as far as I'm concerned anyway. Mudlight says fake voting counts. Yeah, maybe. I knew somebody who used to count they were a Cubs leader, or whatever they call them, scout leader, I'm not sure, Arcalas I think they're called. Coincidentally, my local polling booth is a Cub Scout, a Scout hut, and yeah, this guy who used to be top of the Scouts, as it were, in his local area, nice guy, of course, I'm not knocking the guy, he would volunteer his evenings and count the votes, but yeah, maybe they've got their fake outcomes and they do like to just see out of interest, oh, how close did the public vote to what we had already decided long ago? Let's see how close we were. Perhaps they all have jokes about it. Mudlark says lots of people believe that the last US presidential election was rigged. Yeah, I would not rule it out. Absolutely not. The only thing is, I don't think either way, whether it was Trump or Biden, my goodness, what a choice, you know. One person who's paints his face orange, as we've already mentioned, numerology, the 33, of course, you know, that's them getting their numbers in with Trump. Just take a look at his wife and daughter as well. Oh, they are not, they would fit in well with Helen Belcher. That's no disrespect to the woman. I'm sure he is a lovely person. I'm sure they wave their rainbow flag every Pride March. Good for them. And yeah, Mudlark, how do we know they're not corrupt? Well, how much control does one person counting votes have? Let's say they count them all down. Let's say they count all the votes, put their numbers in, hand the numbers to whoever's above them, and once the numbers get sent on to the next place, who knows what they do with it. There's certainly room for corruption, you're absolutely right. And the thing with elections being private, which, as I said, I was always taught your votes should be private, it's not exactly an easy thing to figure out. Yeah, when I think of Trump and Biden, I think of that scene at the end of The Simpsons where there was a Halloween I don't watch that anymore, but I used to enjoy The Simpsons, and there was a Halloween one where they're holding hands, the two space aliens, and they're dressing up as the candidates for the US elections. I think it was Bush and whoever the other one was at the time. It wouldn't have been Obama, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know. Did Obama beat Bush? I can't remember. Mudlark mentions the methods they have for counting them. True, I would think there's probably a lot of tradition. There's people that hold on to, no, it has to be counted by humans. Because, machines aren't reliable, are they? I know what you're saying, Mudlark. The idea of humans counting it up. Obama beat John McCain. Yeah, didn't McCain stand often and never quite managed to get voted in or something? Who did, because they can only do 2 terms, of course, and George Bush Senior, of course, had his 2 terms and was then followed by Obama. So, who did Bush beat then? Bush Senior, as it were. If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't Clinton, was it? He never went up against Clinton. Of course, I'm asking you guys, I do, of course, have access to a web browser. So, let's put that on and have a look. We'll do a quick Bing search. Right, what was it called? Bush Senior election record. So because George Bush let's say Donald Trump never held a second term, does that mean he's allowed to come back and try again? Right, wow, this goes all the way back. I just wanted to know who they went up against. Right, here we go, 1970. Even his dad was, this family are hand in hand with the White House, as it's called. George Bush back in 1970. Okay, not quite what we're looking for. 1980. 88, Bob Dole and George Bush. Goodness me, I thought they were only allowed 2 terms. How long did that guy stay in for? Right, 1992, Bill Clinton and Al Gore defeated George Bush. Right. It's getting too late for me to make much sense of this stuff. Right, first time... Yeah. So... sorry guys. I'm not the expert on US politics that maybe I could be. Hopefully you guys, if it matters to you, then I'm sure you know your stuff. I think we're probably gonna start calling things to a halt soon before I start rambling on ridiculously. Elita, Mudlark, Jeff, anyone else who happened to take the time to tune in today, thank you ever so much for being with us. As I said, I'm going to be back Sunday with my Stanley Plotkin's watch along. If you want to catch up with that in the meantime, it's very easy to find. I will put links in the description, but you can just jump onto my channel, go to playlists, and the very first one you should see, Stanley Plotkin's watch along. 4 episodes so far, and I hope you will take the time to check it out. Okay, yes, Sabbath day is upon us tomorrow at sundown, and I cannot highly enough recommend observing it. So with that in mind, I hope one and all has a great weekend. Thank you for taking the time to be with us. As I've already said that, I do start repeating myself from rambling once at the end of these streams. I need to just close it quick. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Hope you can be back with us Sunday evening. Have a great week. Enjoy the election if that's your thing. Some people do get very into it. They very much enjoy the whole the race of the politics. Yeah, why not? You know, if that's what gets you through the day, then who am I to tell you otherwise? Okay, as I did say earlier, before you exit us, where are we? Before you dash off tonight, I hope you will remember just to hit the thumbs up button before you leave. And with that, I'm going to thank you for watching, say over and out, good night.
Have you ever used orphans to study an experimental vaccine?
Yes.